I'm Heath Lambert. You're listening to Marked by Grace, a podcast applying the grace of Jesus to all of life. The origins of the Easter Bunny. That's this week on Marked by Grace. I'm so glad to be with you, so glad you're joining me. If you've got a question you'd like me to answer, a concern you'd like me to address, or a problem you'd like me to talk about, you can send that in to markedbygrace@fbcjax.com. That's markedbygrace@fbcjax.com. This week, as Christians are preparing for Resurrection Sunday and the Easter celebration, some of you, a lot of you, are asking questions about the origin of the Easter Bunny and how that fits in with a Christian celebration of Easter. I want to talk about that, and I want to let you know in advance that the question has a much more complicated answer than I think most Christians really understand. In fact, the answer doesn't begin with the Easter bunny, but it actually begins with the very word Easter. And that word traces back to nothing in the Bible, but to a lot of very, very pagan celebrations. So in the Middle Ages, in the dark, wintry months, pagan religion believed those months were ruled by witches who lurked around in the night and cast spells and did creepy, scary things. And the springtime, as the days would get longer, as the weather would get warmer, as there was more sun in the day, the witches would be driven away. And that time of spring was ruled over not by witches, but by a pagan goddess of springtime and fertility, whose name was Eostre. That's E-O-S-T-R-E. We spell Easter E-A-S-T-E-R. The goddess of spring and fertility was Eostre, E-O-S-T-R-E. And so our word Easter traces back to not a Bible word, but traces back actually to a pagan goddess of springtime and fertility. Easter's animal symbol was the rabbit, because rabbits obviously have a very, very high level of fertility. And so the rabbit was the animal symbol of this pagan goddess. And these rabbits, as they would start to hop around all over the place at springtime, it actually was believed in these pagan religions that it was those rabbits that chased away the witches that ruled in the dark, cold months of winter. And these rabbits would deliver their eggs. Now, why do rabbits deliver eggs when rabbits are mammals and they don't lay eggs? Well, this was just part of the pagan religion, and eggs, again, perhaps for obvious reasons, were symbols of fertility. And so the rabbits, which symbolized fertility, gave eggs, which also symbolized fertility. The point was not to have it be scientific or even accurate in any sense. It was just all communicating fertility symbols. So you got rabbits hopping around delivering eggs, and it was a celebration of springtime. This practice, this pagan practice, started to enter into American society in the 1700s when German immigrants who were living in what we now know as Pennsylvania, they brought this tradition of a rabbit called Eostre, who would deliver his eggs. And German immigrants in Pennsylvania, they would build these straw nests. And if you were a good little boy or a good little girl, Eostre would bring colorful eggs and lay them in the nest that you had built. And it was from that nest that was created, where colored eggs were laid, where they were placed, that Easter baskets were developed, and they did what you would expect. Easter baskets got much more elaborate. What they got filled up with became more elaborate, and so it wasn't just eggs, it was candy and all sorts of gifts and that kind of thing. And that's what got us to our contemporary celebration of Easter and the Easter bunny. It has nothing at all to do with anything you read in Scripture. It has nothing to do with the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And that's why there's a lot to say about all of this. There's a lot we could say about it. As Christians, we need to be really sure that in our hearts, in our homes, with our families, with our friends, and in our churches, that whatever the world calls Easter, that we are really, really focusing on the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Here at First Baptist, we want to help you do that. And so as you prepare for your resurrection celebrations, I would encourage you to have a look at the FBC Jax YouTube channel. Every day of Holy Week, some of our pastors are going to be explaining to you the importance of the resurrection and the meaning of that particular day, and you'll really be helped and you won't want to miss it.